Yeah.
The thing that also, in addition to the lack of competitive experience, is also I don't really know the hero pools of the OG players particularly well.
Yeah.
I tried to go through some pro tracker stuff. They're not really there. I know a lot of people were very hot on. Oh, okay.
Is it yay or nay?
Give me that.
All right.
That's
There
a
you
yay.
go.
That's a yay
a
right
big
there.
yay if I've ever seen one. Oh
All
man,
right,
I'm so
talk to
hyped
me.
right now. I like this hero is hit or miss, of course. But if you land your hooks, you're gonna look like a god. When I first saw it, I thought it's OG who picked it. You know, get some points. You know, get the
Some
fans
fan
hyped.
points, yeah.
Exactly. But this to me sounds like I said, they're gonna be Yapsor. It could also be a position 5 because what you do as a position 5, you bring out Sal's. You need to be if you hook someone into the tower, if he's paired up with a slow/stun, that's a guaranteed kill.
I just realized who's commentating this match.
It's Jenkins.
It's Jenkins. He loves Punch. We'll see. We'll see what he says about that one.
Lacoste on panel, Jenkins on cast. Is it? I've also seen some one-position Pudge.
One position?
I've seen it.
No, it's doable as a position 3. Of course, if you're playing into Razor, that's not a thing. So most likely going to be 4 or 5. Could also be a mid. We'll have to see, you know. But the thing about Pudge is there are no counters. Like, you cannot counter this hero no matter what you do. If you just get a level, if you land a good hook, you can turn the whole fight around. Like, either a save hook, like Roche, defend. Like, it has so many good things. If you get the shard, if you get... any of the like neutral items, psychic headband to increase the cast range. Oh man, I'm
my man's mind is working in an overdrive right now at all the possibilities. I'm curious also how much they're even going to play or draft around the Pudge. Is it worth getting more stuns so you have more hooks set up? Are you going to lean more into the save?
You're showing weakness if you draft any kind of stuns, any kind of setup. You just want to land them blindly. You know,
right.
Like Weaver, what Weaver maybe provides vision for the hook with the bugs, but that's it.
I don't need them to stand still. I know where they're going every single time.
Sometimes it's easier. You know, to hook if no one's helping you.
How about the save aspect? Is it worth finding a carry who could benefit from being maybe Ag's time-lapse? Maybe it's a support weaver also. Oh. So Ag's time-lapse and you eat your carry?
Yeah, well, literally unkillable lineup.
Literally unkillable.
Okay. Someone's dying somewhere, needs to be saved. Pudge runs in, eats them, gets time-lapse, so instantly is moved backwards as well. You're out of the fight, you're safe. Double safe.
But we're not utilizing the hook for even more save potential, I think.
Oh,
Weaver goes in, time-lapses someone, and Pudge predicts where that person's going to get time-lapsed to, hooks them back. And
yeah, I like that too.
All right.
One thing that I'm going to say also about Pudge and the hooks when you're playing in a professional game, it's much easier to hook smarter players.
Why is it much easier to hook smarter players?
Because you can predict what a smart person is going to do.
But isn't that also a little bit weird in the sense that, let's say I'm a very smart player.
Let's say I'm playing against Pudge, and I know that guy's playing for Team Secret.
Yes.
When he shoots a hook, I'm just going to stand still most of the time.
Because he's not expecting that.
Yes, exactly.
Because
you're trying to dodge. Whenever you're playing Pudge and you know someone's good, you never use a hook most of the time where he is standing. You use it either to the left or the right. But so you try to predict.
If it's a Team Secret Pudge, what if they go for the double bluff and you know that they know that you know?
Also smart.
Then you pick some stuns on your...
Okay, I see. There we go. The stuns like Jakiro, Ice Path, OG. Man, I have no idea what to make of their lineup. These are heroes that I feel are not common, at least not during TI.
Oh yeah, because Pudge was first phased during TI
every time,
10 every single game.
He wasn't, by the way.
I see Silencer that says to me, you know, this is one of the heroes that Pudge doesn't like to play into, even though mana cost on his hook got buffed, so less mana. But if you die 2 times, your mana pool very limited, so protecting the Pudge, very important.
Very important.
I'm being a lot sarcastic, quite a lot, so you gotta, you know, see...
But in that case, because they do ban out Silencer, and they also ban out the Slardar, which is also a little bit of a counter towards that Pudge. Is that saying to you that this is a Pudge that is a core? Or
no.
is it still open?
It's also one of the heroes that kind of ruins Weaver, where you want to go in and out with Arcane Curse on you. You're having a really bad time.
I'm just happy to see some fresh meat on the board. We got Winter Wyvern there as well.
I don't even like the 3 heroes, the 6 heroes on the field right now. I see minimal synergy between any of them, other than the save potential from Pudge and Weaver.
Impale into Ice Path.
Double save from Wyvern. Heal.
Triple save if you have the time lapse and the eating.
It is sustained.
Loads of saves. They're all gonna go all in on the Nisha. Basically, okay, I see what's happening. They're putting Nisha on the Terrorblades like Nisha. When it comes to minute like 40, you show up and win the game for us. We're just gonna have fun. See you.
Well, this is a big issue because they have no counters against Timbersaw whatsoever. The best thing they got is Pudge Hook, which is pure damage, but other than that, TB, Wyvern, Weaver, they don't do anything. So they need something, maybe even like a Spirit Vessel carrier coming up from the mid lane to be able to deal with the Timbersaw early on.
Yeah, more magic damage in general, and they banned out the Queen of Pain on OG, so can't go for that. What other Sumail heroes would there be?
Invoker comes to my mind. Spirit Vessel Buyer. Good way to disengage a fight against the Razor. Possibly as well have one way of just saying, nope, you're not stealing any kind of damage. Zeus being banned out, one of the better heroes against TB and the Illusions, and they have no backline jumpers. If this, like, Weaver's okay, but it's most likely going to be a position for Weaver. This might be a 3 Pudge or mid Pudge, just judging that they have Weaver and Viper.
Yeah. I mean, Pudge, Weaver laning together, regardless on who is 3 and 4. Is that a good lane?
Into Razor, it could be a bit tricky.
You think it's a safe lane, Razor?
Yes.
Okay. So OG is looking for their mid laner as
Not
well?
necessarily. They have the last pick, so they will decide once they see.
Yeah, we have Team Secret banning out Zeus, so they might think that BZM is still lacking his hero, so they're on board with the Razor on the safe lane for now.
And this is like ATF's hero. He's been, you know, stomping pubs on his Timbersaw. I think that's his signature hero. Even though if you check his Dota Pro Tracker stats, he plays a lot of different roles. So he's probably not playing ranked roles.
Maybe he's just trying to get more mid lane positions by playing the off lane every once in a while.
Maybe.
Aren't you? And if you're playing a super high MMR, you can't queue ranked
that's
roles,
true, yeah.
right?
That's also true, yes.
Yeah.
Lacoste is testing you.
I was just testing if you're listening to nonsenses that I'm
Always.
saying.
You guys are saying very smart stuff. I always listen to what you
Well,
say.
I'm glad. Secret intent on protecting their Terrorblade, banning out Zeus and Tinker. Drow Ranger has already been banned out by OG. Both teams are looking for magic damage, it seems. For OG, they're looking to kill the Terrorblade. For Secret, they're looking to kill the Timbersaw.
Still quite some time left on the side of OG in their bonus time, so they got some time to see what they want to ban out. I think for the moment we're assuming that Sumail is still lacking his hero in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards.
And we got the Wind Ranger already banned out.
Mom, Tsunami's cheating. He's opening the heroes on his phone.
Hey, how does a puck sound to you?
Well, let's see.
They ban out a Spirit.
To be fair, if that is that easy to research, then I'm sure that OG is also aware of the puck. They banned out the Ember Spirit, first of all.
Even though they have Nyx Assassin, they still decided to go for Ember Spirit ban, which could potentially build into Spirit Vessel from the mid lane if it's needed. It's also magical damage against the Timbersaw. They have very limited control. Nyx Assassin's good, so still they're respecting the Ember Spirit.
All right. Out of time. Here we go. It's going to be the Grimstroke. Okay, so that's a core Pudge. Core Winter Wyvern could be core potentially as well.
Could be. What is...
And we have an Invoker coming out last for BZM.
Also one of his mostly played heroes. Let's see who plays what. Nisha on a
Mid
TB,
Grimstroke.
mid
White
Grimstroke.
Wyvern for Ice, Ice, Ice.
Okay.
And
That seems
yeah,
close.
Yaps or Pudge.
Wow.
5 Weaver. Anything surprising on the other side, on the side of OG?
5 heroes.
5 heroes.
Grimstroke on the mid lane, I think he has a lot of potential. He's also a hero that kind of ruins the Timbersaw, where like you get the chakram out and you get silent, so you can't attack, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? So that's a pretty big one, I would say. They're very limited on stuns on side of Team Secret.
Yeah.
All eyes on Yappy to see how many hooks he can land, because there are no stuns, as I mentioned. Like, my man knows what's up.
Soulbind into Dismember both.
That's a great combination indeed.
Yeah.
Though sometimes, like, the hook will break the soulbind on occasions.
Yes.
So
That is true. There's
you need to be very
some
careful.
miss synergy there.
Yeah, and I as much as Terrorblade can scale, I find that dealing with the Timbersaw is going to be more than just a Grimstroke duty. But unfortunately, they don't have anyone other than Grimstroke who can deal with the Timbersaw. I love the Pudge concept,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's going to win.
So
I'm gonna go with Pudge 100%.
Yes.
Like this hero cannot lose. Give me that big yay.
Big nah.
I mean, I like the draft for Team Secret just for pure entertainment values. I just haven't seen it work yet. Maybe it works. Maybe it works, but in a traditional sense, OG's draft just looks a little bit more normal on paper.
All these people who haven't watched since TI are gonna like tune in and be like, "What the hell is going on with Dota right now?
Yeah.
There
what
must
patches
have been
am
a
I
big
missing?" Yeah,
patch.
exactly.
Nope.
But nope.
Well, I am very curious about this one, absolutely. We, of course, talked a lot about Pudge because that is the odd one out, but we're luckily having a Pudge expert amongst our mids, and Moxie sitting with him right now. It's Jenkins.
I know that we were in the back room. We got super excited. We saw that Pudge pick, and then you turned to me and said, "This is a terrible Pudge game."
Okay,
So, fill me in here.
to be fair, every game is a terrible Pudge game. Like, the hero, he's just rough, man. But, you know, he's the most fun hero in the game, the most high skill hero in the game. He's got that crazy skill cap. And especially in this game, where you have very little disable. So it's kind of all riding on him, on Yapstor, having a good game, maybe getting that Blink Dagger, blinking in, getting that Dismember. You can use it with the Soulbind, but you have to be careful because there's a weird thing in this combo. If you toggle rot after you Dismember the Soulbind, it interrupts it. It interrupts the Dismember, even though you can toggle rot during Dismember normally. So you actually have to pre-rot and then Dismember. It's such a strange thing, but it's like, that's just Pudge for you. What a weird hero.
Definitely one of your favorite heroes. And another favorite hero that we have on the board here is, of course, a Mars Timbersaw. This is a hero he does very, very well with that, and his Mars are probably the two biggest that he's known for. What can we expect out of him here?
I think Timber as a hero has been nerfed quite a bit. I mean, it's been like a year or 2 years of Timber being this extremely strong, like, last pick cheese hero in the offlane. Like, mid laners, they've got their Huskar, they've got their Broodmother, they've got their Meatball. Like, they've got all of these cheese heroes in that role. And Timber's like kind of our only one for the offlane. He's a lot weaker than he was before. Nice hook on the...
Ooh, that fishing hook.
Yeah, so that's a freebie. I think they're going to get the third one as well. That's one benefit of having Pudge. One of the few benefits of having a Pudge on your team is that rune hook.
That definitely came into play there.
I had a theory about like potentially hooking a bounty rune and then leaving it somewhere, so that way your mid laner, when they pick up the bottle, they can use that like initial bounty rune because it's repositioned. But I've never seen anybody do that. I do genuinely think that there's a lot that you can do with Pudge that people are not doing because it's really hard and probably not worth making it work. But I love that Secret's trying it here.
So what about seeing this mid Grimstroke versus the Invoker? This is not something that we typically see too often.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, there was a patch there where mid Grim was trending pretty hard. Does a lot of damage. Get a Ghost Scepter Ethereal Blade. Can't hit the bug, so you always get that proc. This is a fight between bugs right now.
This is indeed the Scarab Beetle versus the, I don't know, what kind of, cockroach, I guess, is what you would say.
He's an ant.
I don't think he's an ant.
He's definitely an ant.
I don't think he's an ant. Ants don't have wings. Taiga with the nice impale here. He's just taking a lot of harass, though.
I was playing with a Russian guy the other day, and he was calling Weaver ant, so I believe that would be what the correct verbiage is.
I don't think that's the correct English that you just used, period, but
Whatever.
I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, this middle lane is pretty interesting to consider here, especially when you've got someone like Sumail up against BZM. Fairly, you know, everybody knows Sumail. He's made his mark for sure. BZM, a little bit lesser known. Definitely, this is one of the perks, right? It's OG's picked up a young squad. They want to see what they can do with them. Obviously, there's got to be some very raw talent that they're wanting to cultivate.
Yeah, and I don't blame anybody for losing lane to Sumail on almost any hero. I feel like he's just the king of winning lanes. And I know a lot of people have like questioned people. Like, oh, this is the new Sumail. This is the new Sumail. Like, Sumail's the new Sumail, and that's been kind of proven in the last few years. There's really nobody that's better at him than laning. I think Owie said that he thinks Sumail is the best TI player in the world, even though, like, you know, he only won one. He still thinks that.
He's definitely
individually.
Yeah, he's impressive with the way. You can see Yapsor. He wants that hook on Misha.
I don't think he gets.
Can't quite get there with those Hellbear smashes in the line. They also have the ward up to spot him out as well.
Bit of a wash mid. You know, Sumail's got a few denies here, but both of these heroes can just eventually push out the lane. So you're not going to be too unhappy as a Grim or an Invoker. So you just push the lane, go jungle the easy camp. Mid has become just about farming in this patch at the very least.
Yep, so just hanging around trying to ensure that this bounty rune doesn't get snapped up. When do we start seeing rotations starting to happen, though? Besides, you know, just the fours obviously will be moving around a bit, but...
It's hard to rotate to a Timber for any hero on Team Secret. They don't exactly have the damage to kill him. I think Sumail would need to be the one rotating to the Timbers lane, and if he's going to do that, it will be a huge rotation because you're committing your mid to it. I think mostly we'll see Yapsor running around, getting kills with Sumail, put that Ink Swell on. And that can probably start happening once Yapsor gets his Tranquil Boots, and Sumail probably needs his level 6.
This has been a fairly calm game. Couple clicks back and forth here between the supports. Top lane, Ice. The flab those wings away.
It's a nice thing about having a Timbersaw on the off lane is that you can just leave him completely solo. Like, Weaver Terrorblade is going to do absolutely nothing to pressure this hero. I know I talked about the
television closer to us, please.
I talked about the nerfs to Timbersaw, and the biggest nerfs to him are the fact that he just doesn't have as much regen and armor as he used to, but still, when you're playing up against two physical damage heroes like this, it's like there just isn't enough magic nuke to take him down, so you can still leave him alone, even though this is a nerfed hero to a degree. Frees up the 4 to rotate wherever they want to go.
That is one of the nice things about having these kind of self-sustaining, harder to kill offlaners, just allowing them to have that flexibility to move about.
Dyer's courier.
Yeah, Ice.
This is the second time I think that Amar's courier went down.
Funny, you don't usually see that in the safe lane like that. Oh, there's a Pudge Hook. That's a classic right there. He's got 3 clarities, so no problem. He's gonna have enough mana to use that. If you get a Basilius on Pudge now, this is going to be all Pudge facts for this entire game. I
mean, how often do we get to see a Pudge in competitive play is the real question. Like, I can understand why you're so excited.
Just like a Bassi or an Urn. I imagine he'll probably go for an Urn into Vessel because dealing with the Timbers regen that he has. Just one, like, small mana component, and with the mana cost on Hook now, you can sustain, like, just chain hooking like this.
There we go. There's a nice hook, but Yuragi already just walking away. Just have to be careful, though. There's plenty of damage. Turn back around, they get the kill over on Yapsor.
That is such a classic Pudge. You hook somebody and then die.
Taiga's getting clicked away here. He's forced to use the Fairy Fire.
Oh, we have another Vessel coming out, too, because that's going to be a Quas Wex Invoker, because they think that their mid needs to be active, which I think is fair, given that you have a Timber and a Razor in the side lanes. Like, these are pretty good heroes to run to and get kills, but they're not exactly going to be the ones that are running around getting kills. Like, they're the plus ones. They're the damage that you need.
Battle of the Bugs yet again going over here for the rune. Taiga just barely walking away with his life. Puppy going to be able to snap up the bounty. They've had very good control of the bounty runes in this game.
It's really important. It's just funny how, like, the difference between a one lane and a lost lane can be, you know, 500 gold, 1,000 gold, something like that. So if you pick up a bounty rune, or if you pick up 2 bounty runes, like, you know, 500, 600 gold. So stealing bounties is actually the difference between, like, winning a lane and losing a lane. So, you know, if you're losing a lot of pubs and losing lanes, like, you just go grab one bounty, it actually nullifies it. Really, really important to steal those.
Now look at that. Look at the bounty gold gain just from those 6 different runes there.
People vastly underestimate how much bounties are worth. Couriers as well. Couriers are massive. Like, you kill a courier, it's like getting a bounty rune.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Very
attack.
slow burn to the start of this game.
Yeah, both teams, like I said with the Timber and the Razor, both teams just have kind of like lane dominating heroes that don't really want to run around and be active. There's stuff like this where you see dives happening, but it's more so like, you're in my lane, I'm Timbersaw, I'm going to bully you out of here. It's not necessarily like Timber wants to get these kills, it's just that he's supposed to be taking this tower, and so he's pressuring Puppey. Puppey's doing a really good job at being evasive down here, though.
I mean, this is a good hero to be able to do that as well, so...
It is, and I thought that Yapsor was going to go for the full vessel, but it looks like they're going for it on Puppey, Weaver, which... It makes sense because I think that you probably need that Blink Dagger on Pudge, since there's not that much Disable or Initiation on the other heroes on Team Secret. And to be quite honest, I feel like a Weaver, even as a 5, is probably going to out-farm a Pudge. That's just how the hero works. Look at the net worth already. You can see it happening.
Sumail. Oh, just a little off the mark again, Yapsor.
Not sure if he even dies to that. It's level 1 rot. It's so easy to walk away from. And BZM's been doing a really good job keeping Sumail at low mana, so there's no kill threat here.
Bottom tower is under attack.
It just feels like it's the pressure of pushing out these waves, trying to put pressure over onto the towers, coming out from the side of OG currently.
Puppey's getting some nice farm down here.
I feel like you have to be concerned when he's getting this good. Taiga, trying to find an opening here. Just gonna cut down some of these trees. Ooh, Puppey.
Oh!
Gonna get hit by Taiga,
Wow.
and he's finally gonna go down.
What nice reads. I mean, Taiga with the wraparound, really nice. But Amar there, just like, you'd think that he had some sentry ward there, but he didn't. He was just reading where Puppey would run.
There was a sentry over on the side in front of the tower area, but silence being thrown out here over on the Jakiro. Misha turning back around with the ice path. Yapsor now has to run as they have teleported quite a few people up to the top lane. Nice dual breath slow over onto Sumail. He's going to get taken down, and now Yapsor, it looks like he's going to be the next victim, eventually. That's a big rotation.
Great rotation, though. It's like, I see why he's going Quas Wex.
Nisha.
I think Nisha should be...
I think he's fine, but they're just trying to bully him away, right?
Yeah, this is great. I mean, bullying him away with just supports like this.
God, Misha's sitting very low already. Bugs thrown out. These Arctic burns, Misha will fall. Taiga throwing out the Spy Carapace. Nice move there from BZM, but the hook does connect here from Yapsor, so Ice will collect himself a second kill.
Another hero that you don't see that often in the support position is this, or in the core position, is Winter Wyvern. I mean, other than like 9 playing in mid. But
Under attack.
if you do get to that Witchblade and you get to the Aghanim Scepter eventually, it is a menace in the late game. It does a ton of damage. You're constantly slow. There's all of these talents to buff up that Arctic Burn now. If you get any sort of damage items, you have this massive range for your auto attacks. It's legit. It's a very good core. So the problem is the early game as a core. So seeing Ice pick up these kills early, if you're an OG fan, it is concerning just because of how the hero scales as a core, and usually it doesn't do so well early.
So is a lot of it just like banking on the fact that you need it to snowball?
I think it's good if it can snowball. There's like ways of losing the lane and then coming back on Wyvern and, you know, still being impactful. Like the ulti, for example, it scales based on the enemy team's strength, right? So you don't exactly need to like snowball for that, but if you can, it can be pretty devastating.
Taiga doing some fancy moves here. The follow-up from Amar. They're looking to crush a bug, and they will. Taiga was sitting so low, though, with that last little bug munching on him.
Amar is doing such a good job on this Timbersaw pressuring, and so he takes the bottom tower, gets a few kills, making space for his team, and then he heads up towards that top lane, so he's secured this bottom area of the map. You can see that there's this drawing happening. I think that's, or is that Ice drawing? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So basically what he's done is he's freed up this bot area of the map for his carries to go farm, and now he's taking top, and there's very little way that Secret can pressure him up there, so it's like this +1 area that OG gets to farm that Secret doesn't. He's top net worth, man, on the Timber. He's the true carry.
I mean, like you said, it's very hard to bully this guy, especially given the draft that they have. So Amar has been allowed to just move about. And it's also, again, one of his better heroes. I would say one of his best, along with his Marv. So he knows exactly, you know, the ins and outs. He knows the limits that he can take it to. And he knows that he's fairly safe, as Ice is forced to use the Arctic Burn. They'll follow up with the Ice Path, the Impale, they'll burn up all the mana. And slowly but surely cut down a Wyvern.
So the only weird thing for OG is that you're making space for a Razor. I think there's a few trains of thought on Razor as a hero lately. A lot of people are going for the like BKB refresher build. Maybe like Shiva's Guard, Assault Cuirass, you just like max armor. And so there are a lot of people that say that it scales extremely well, but you just don't see it that often in competitive. So, ooh, nice side dodge there.
He's going to need a little bit more help than that, though. The hook comes out. They'll go grab one. Sumail turning back around, though, has the silence. Phantom's Embrace has got the Inkswell. They're going to push it back, and that's a dead Sumail. Taiga looks like he needs some help. He's not going to be able to find it. Now BZM being chased down here. Puppey trying to put out a little bit of this damage. He'll snap up the bounty rune. Misha with the Ice Path. Puppey turning his attention now to the Jakiro. He's going to just try to put out a little bit more harass. I don't think he goes for a hard dive here, though. And while this is happening, the old bait and switch, they do a whole skirmish, and Nisha puts pressure on the tower using the Metamorphosis.
Yeah, Mars just trying to... He's just trying to stand in front of his towers right now because he knows that if they have this bot tower advantage, that they're farming more. And so if he can just stand in front of the towers and delay for as long as possible, if you get like a 5-minute window where you're delaying these pushes, that's 5 minutes where you're farming more of the map than the enemy team. But like I said, it depends on what your train of thought is for like Razor versus Terrorblade. Like, does Razor actually scale as well as Terrorblade? I think most people would argue probably not, but it depends.
Nice lockdown here again over on Puppey. Uses the time lapse. Nice, making his way over. Starting to join in. You can see the movements of Secret making their way to this top area. They're looking for a fight.
Yeah, they're chilling now. I mean, just a little bit of poking. There's not many active heroes on Team Secret. We've been seeing a lot of these plays start with a hook, and Yapstar is actually doing a great job despite the early game not going amazingly for him. He wasn't like absolutely popping off with hooks, but come, early mid-game, he has been actually hitting them closer to the mid lane.
I mean, a hook a lot of the times is just a lot of poking back and forth, right? Trying to make people move around.
Sure, yeah.
Spawn. Because like you said, level 1 run.
Oh, there we go.
It's not quite there. The Ice Path does connect. All with the macro pyre. Taiga going to follow up. Impale. Silence placed out. Yep, so is he going to make it out alive? That tornado, though, coming in hot. Clean up. Taiga now is trying to get away as quick as possible. Nice Ice Path here from Misha, but still not going to be enough as Ice takes down Taiga.
I love Taiga's frontlining there. Like, he just goes in with this Nyx Assassin, and he's basically just a soak and giving his team vision for that kill. I mean, it's just a pudge that you get. I think the way that he's playing it on Nyx is just perfect. It's like, if you play Nyx as a backliner, you're just not using the fact that he has these absolutely ridiculous stats and that he has spiked Carapace to, be so disruptive for the enemy. So I really like that he was standing on the low ground there, just letting his team play on the high ground and poke there. It was really nice.
Well, it's been interesting watching Misha, the way that he plays around with the Jakiro, just his positioning, realizing, okay, if they're going to chase after him, because, he is the soak, he is the one that is drawing all the attention, they can follow up with these spells to slow.
Yeah, just let them spam. He's just spamming on the Jakiro, and, all of Jakiro's spells are, less than 10-second cooldowns. So, if you're letting your Invoker and your Jakiro just spam spells from behind, I mean, that's all you need. They're going to carry the game for you.
I think they have a lot of eyes and pressure on them, too, being the newer squad, or newer players, rather, joining a very reputable squad. So it's interesting to start to see the way that they move around the map and the way that they do their positioning and whatnot for some of us that aren't super familiar with it. By Carapace, though, again, they're going to try to poke away over at Ice. And he's out of here.
Dude, Amar is huge on this Timber, and I know we were talking about Wyvern being the scaling hero of Misha.
Misha's... Yuragi's here. Silence throwing on Jakiro. He can't do anything to help right now with that silence on him. Fate slowing him down. BZM, though, making a rotation. Puppey has to be careful. Jakiro is one of the tankier support heroes. Oh boy, Yapsar. BZM. Looks like he's not going to chase after him. Has his sights on a Puppey instead. Slow. Follow up with the Tornado, the Ice Path. Look at the way that they're using their spells. Nice save, though, coming out from Yapsar. It's just going to protect Puppey. And they're teleporting more people down on the side of Secret.
Jakiro Invoker seems like quite a cool combo, actually, because you have the Jakiro damage over time to affect the Cold Snap, and then also you have a Tornado to set up for Ice Path, which he's actually maxing. He's going for a 2-4-1 build. So he does a lot of damage on Jakiro, and he's got tons of stun follow-up for the Invoker.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good Jakiro and a good Invoker player, because, right, you have to land all those spells, but when you do land them, it does quite a lot. Got a Winter's Curse coming out here. Gonna drag over Taiga. It's gonna start putting some damage on BZM, but they walk right here into Amar, waiting patiently. Nice setup, and he just cuts them down. And they'll turn their attention over to the mid tower. Uh-oh, ice, ice, ice. Poking a little too hard here. Amar's more than happy to go after him. Does have the silence on him. Throws out the high fives like, please, give me the high five. But he does not in fact get it.
Okay. I'm liking this gameplay, dude. I'm liking Amar. He's also got a Rapier on his quick buy.
Oh, he's always had that. That's just a normal Amar thing.
My boy. This kid's a memer, dude. This is great, good gameplay. He is absolutely certain that he can carry this game, and I'm also fairly certain that Timber is the type of hero that can do that because of the late game with the Aghanim Scepter, the buffs to Chakram, and the Aghanim Shroud Flamethrower. Timber is actually quite an amazing scaling hero, just like Winter Wyvern. There's quite a few teams we've actually seen stack Ancients for Timbersaw in the NA region, and they did very well with it. So Timber is, like, to a degree, an actual carry.
It's definitely changed from what it used to be.
Yeah.
With the addition of the Aghanims.
Yep, his late game's way better than it was before.
It's kind of nice to see that you've got this whole balance.
Yeah, spellcasters can actually be really good in the late game in Dota, which is super cool.
Misha throwing out the Ice Path, just trying to buy himself enough time, but the hook comes through from Yapzor. Misha's dead and out of here.
You know, maybe this is just me, like, stroking the Pudge ego here, but I feel like being in position to hit hooks like that, the fact that they're coming from off screen and we're like, oh, he's there, like he hit the hook, you know, every single time it kind of feels like Yapzor is there. This is one of the slowest heroes in the entire game. Being in position for those hooks, even though he's hooking people who are TPing, hooking people who are stunned, that is very difficult to do. That is not easy when you're playing the slowest hero in the game. Like, Yapzor has always been in the right position for this entire game. Now the question is, does it matter? Because he is Pudge anyway. But he's been there for the hooks, which is half the battle.
One of the things that I really love about Pudge, especially when it's rare that we see him in competitive at this point, but it's such a low risk, high reward sort of thing. If you throw out a hook and you catch someone, awesome, you started a fight. Take a look at this this play here right again. Just nope, you're not going.
That's right at the end of the TP. It's like, you know, he's hitting a stunned target, so sure. He's not that enthused about it.
He's not enthused at all.
Because really, it's just like his positioning is just good, and it's Yapzor. Like, he plays Rubik. Right. Like, he's the best Rubik in the world, arguably. And that's another positioning-based hero. So this guy's positioning is amazing. If anybody's going to play Pudge, it's him.
But again, it is a very low-risk, high-reward sort of situation. Ooh, I don't know if you want to hook that big boy. They'll follow up. Oh, no. They'll find themselves the kill on Amar, which is a pretty big deal considering that he has been a thorn in their sides. Winter's Curse getting used during that as well.
Yeah, that's a nice curse, actually, from Ice. He was just blocking off the back line so that they couldn't walk down the high ground, or they couldn't walk down the ramp because it was blocked off by that Winter's Curse. So Amar was just completely on his own, which is basically the only way that they could kill him in this game. It's like hooking him into the tower like that with TB hitting for the entire duration of Dismember.
And the separation is very important.
Yeah.
Again, coming down to the positioning.
Yep. Pudge unironically carrying the game somehow. I don't know what I'm watching.
They knew that you were casting this Jenkins. They're like, oh, let's make Jenkins real happy.
I do appreciate it. I really do. I'll be watching this replay later tonight. But then again, they're not winning yet. They're still not winning. I mean,
never say never, man. That's the beautiful thing about Dota. Anything can happen. I've seen a Terrorblade 1v5 before, for goodness sake. Yeah, you can see that. There's the hook again.
Oh. The hook's a little off screen, but he does hit the hook. My boy on the Pudge.
Nice, nice, nice. Wandered into no man's land here. And Taiga hunting, getting a lot of vision here, trying to keep tabs over on Tanisha. Let's burn up all that mana. A little bit off the mark with the Impale. Silence, though. The turn right back around again. Misha, though, throwing out the Ice Path, trying to discard him. Yagi He's going for a bit of a dive here. He's going to follow over onto Niche. Just wants to steal some of that as Taiga falls to Poppy. YapzOr is here. Mars also here, though. The Soulbind together. They're going to move together as a team. Got the BKB up and running, too. Nice ice path. Yo-yoing forward, and it's a dead Sumail. Oh, and we're getting some cheeky tips here.
Yeah, I like this guy. I like this Amar guy. He's got character. He is like carrying this game so hard, too. Has his full Sange and Kaya. I'm curious what his take on the Timber build is currently. Like, does he go back for the Bloodstone after this? Does he disassemble the Kaya and Sange because his game is so good? Or is he going to try to go for a Shivas to try to protect from that Terrorblade killing him like what happened in the previous fight for his only death?
I mean, what would you like to see him go for, do you think?
I mean, it depends on, like... I mean, I would trust his judgment over mine, of course. He's the Timber expert. I feel like a Shivas makes sense because of the Terrorblade, and you feel like that's the only way that you can possibly die. I think a Lotus would be like a little too defensive, and he's popping off, so you want to be like... You want to be a carry, right? So you want to build like real carry items. Shivas a way more like Chad item. Bloodstone is like the Chaddest item, but you're very squishy because you're still going to die to that physical damage from the TB.
Taiga getting harassed a little bit by Puppy, but just a tiny bit. Got that Spike Carapace. Hops it off.
I'm waiting for Uragi to pop off in this game because I feel like he's been kind of silently farming for the entire game. And like I said, he's going for this refresher build. He has a Midas, so he appears to be one of these new Razor players that is of this train of thought that Razor is actually a very good late game hero because you have the static link duration talent, you have the attack speed talent, you have a refresher, you have multiple Eye of the Storms going at once, multiple links. So like the hero does do a lot of damage and has a lot of minus armor. It's just usually when you think of Razor, you think of an early game hero, right? A hero that can run at people and do damage, but things change in Dota.
Indeed they do. We do have a smoke coming out from the side of Secret. But you can see the way that OG is just playing very tightly together.
It's still farming a lot, though. Like
Yeah.
They're just clearing the entire map together.
He's throwing Amar in front of everything. But Sumail and YapzOr still just staying on their side of the map currently. You can see some movement coming out from OG. They're going after Ice Ice now. The big thing is that he's got a lot of positioning items. And we talk about Timbersaw. We're talking about Amar, but like Ice Ice used to be the Timbersaw player. And he's also excellent in just, you know, the way that he's going to be moving positioning. He's going to get some very nice curses off, but he did just pick up that Blink Dagger like a minute or so ago. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they decide to use the curse, if they want to use it as a setup, or if they want to use the Pudge.
It's not the greatest curse game, just because like you're never killing the Timber with curse. You're never using the Timber to kill anybody with curse because he just doesn't right click for anything. Razor's not great because if he hasn't linked somebody, he doesn't really do damage. Invoker doesn't do any right click damage. So
It's like it's for positioning almost. Oh, a nice hook over on the side, but we do have another fight breaking out. Nisha here. He's going to try to teleport. He can't in time. As Uragi finds a kill, they'll clean up on YapzOr. Nice safe uppy over there, but Amar has his eyes on Sumail. He's just chasing him right down this mid lane. There's not much that Sumail can really do here. It's just yo-yoing right into the base. Although Amar, perhaps he's gone a little bit too far. He's gonna back off just a bit, throwing out the Chakram. Knows what he can handle here. Ice looking for that opening, looking for the position, but he's just not gonna be able to do it in time.
oh, man.
Multiple tips
The
coming out
chain
here.
tips.
Oh,
4x.
That's gotta hurt.
Who didn't tip? Oh, they're disappearing now. One person didn't tip. I think it might have been Taiga.
Taiga's a very PMA.
Oh, you can press enter. I see. Very good. It was not Taiga. He's not PMA. It was actually Amar, because Amar's probably out of tips. That's
probably it.
The guy's been tipping every single time he gets a kill. Yeah. Okay. Amar is... He has a Manta style queued up. What are you doing? What do you mean? What are you doing? This is... You're playing against Team Secret.
He's probably, I mean, we talked about it. He's quite young. I think he's what?
Dude, he has a Manta! Is this glitched? Is this literally glitched?
I don't believe it's glitched. I don't believe it's glitched.
Manta on Timber.
He's feeling himself here, man. He's like, man, look at me. We're playing against Team Secret, one of the best teams out there, and I am rolling. faster than this path.
I don't know. I can't ignore this. I can't just pretend this isn't happening. I watch Herald replays for a living, and I see this shit in Herald. Manta Timber? All right, let's think about why. Let's think.
That's why you're here, is to help us understand
Manta
why.
off the Grimstroke bug? It cannot be dispelled.
No, you can't. Not the Phantom. It's a Phantom. It's his dead wife. It's not a bug.
Can you Manta... Is he gonna Manta dodge the Grimstroke bug?
No.
Dude,
no.
This kid is crazy, man.
Radiant's bottom tower.
He's crazy. You're playing against Secret.
Bounty.
I mean, Secret did pick some very fun heroes as well, don't forget.
I don't know.
Trying some different things, you know?
It's DPC, though. You know,
It is
like,
DPC, and every game does matter.
It does matter a lot.
Radiant's bottom
So...
tower is under attack.
I
But
feel
we had those moments where we looked and we were like, really, you know, we're seeing the Grimstroke mid again. That's something we haven't seen in quite a while. And then the off-lane Wyvern, the 4 Pudge. You know, I think it was Lacoste, I'm not sure if it was Lacoste or Tsunami who were on the desk, and they're like, that could be a core, a mid Pudge. And I was like, oh my god, mid Pudge, it's back. Dangus will be so happy. But, you know, they are trying things that are a bit different over on the side of Secret. So
very difficult core Pudge. I mean, it's a tough Pudge game in general.
Yes.
It's like, you hook a Razor, he links you, he kills you, which we saw happen once. You hook a Timber, well, that doesn't go well. You're a strength hero. You hook the Invoker, you get tornadoed, cold snapped, you pathetically die to Spear Vessel damage. Like, Nyx Assassin and Carapace is just a tough Pudge game. Yepstar's still doing work, so that's good.
Puppey.
But he's Pudge.
Nice and pale coming out from Taiga, and the Dust Force staff forward. Have to be careful with the way that they're moving. They don't want to group too hard. So they'll go, hold Taiga in the choke point. Silence being put over onto Amar. Turn around, holding Yapsor into place. That's a kill for BZM. No mana left over on Puppey. Nice and pale. Follow the Plasma Field, Chakram. Sunstrike coming on through. Doesn't really do much, though. As Amar's just rolling around in front of everyone.
They forced the TB meta, so I think you just back off now if you're OG and chill. I mean, you don't have to back off entirely. Like, if you have Amar frontlining like this on the Ancients, there's no way Secret's going to come in and contest you here.
I don't know if they can. Like,
yeah, they definitely can't. But, you know, you just chill. They can take Roche. Which they are doing now. Not great Roche killing, but with all 5 they can do it.
I mean, I would say that's very similar. Well, I know, you do have a Terrorblade over on Secret. That might be a little bit fast, but they'll get the job done. Who do they put this Aegis on?
Oh, I'm gonna just say it. It's going to Amar just because he wants it. I don't think
just
there's any
because he
other
wants
reason.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So
Yaragi.
what did he Manta off there? I didn't see. I was staring at the Manta style item in the inventory. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you can Manta off the bug.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Phantom.
Yeah, he Manted it off. Or did it end at that time? I don't know. Don't play it again. We've seen it enough times.
JJ, just because he said that, he's just going to put it on a loop on you.
It's not going to, yeah. Okay. So they didn't put it on Amar. So Amar's the only one messing around in this. He's like, guys, give me the Aegis. I can see him moving his stuff in his inventory. It's like, this is going to be mine, but now they're...
Oh, there's going to be another Roche, possibly.
Makes sense to put it on the Razor, though.
Yeah, we still haven't seen the shard picked up on this Timber. Misha just trying to claw herself away from Puppey. It's not going to be able to quite make it to Milk. Following up, Puppey using that time lapse. Yaragi, though, chasing after him, and to get the dismemberment. Used to curse. Amar is kind of in no man's land now as the rest of the team. He's facing off with a lot of people. He's facing off with 5 heroes, waiting for the rest of his team to show up. It'll get the Soulbind off over onto the Illusion. That'll disappear. Yo-yoing forward. They've already used the BKB over on Nisha. Yaraki also popping his own. Timber just coming on through, cutting through. Gets a kill on Yapsor. Like a little off the mark here, but there's the Yule Scepter coming into play. The Sunstrike onto Nisha. And they'll clean up on Puppey as well.
Nice tips. I just don't know what I'm watching. This shit's crazy.
And you thought Anidota was crazy.
I was thinking, like, back to the Manta. I mean, I hate to be... I can't ignore it. Like, I think I saw something happen in that fight that was actually really annoying for Secret. So Amar got soulbinded, and then he used the Manta, and then the soulbind went on the Manta illusion, and it's like, you don't care, right? You don't care to have your illusion if you're Timber, you don't care if you get soul-binded, right? Because you just don't die. Your team doesn't want to be soul-binded to you because they don't want those spells to be doubled up on them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's almost like he's using the Manta to damage soak the soul-bind. Like he's taking all of the stuff that people are piling into the soul-bind, right?
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
So it's like, I don't know if that's why he bought it, but looking at that fight, I could definitely see him being like, okay, in future fights, I'm going to try to get soul-binded and then press Manta so that way my team doesn't get soul-binded, right? Like if a Razor gets soul-binded to a Timber, it's like Razor wants to run in there and be fast. And
Right, so if you provide your own target to be soul-bound too, then you're taking all of that damage yourself, technically.
It's like, if that...
split between an illusion. That's pretty next-level thinking,
If
honestly.
that is his idea, I'm insanely impressed. Because I've just never thought of that before or heard of anybody thinking of like that before. But that's very cool, regardless that it works like that.
You know, in the back room, you know, the guys are all sitting around and, like, her just trying to discuss it with, like, Robson and everything. Like,
I'm curious to see what people think.
I'm very curious as well. It's what I love to see. I love to see new things coming through, new builds. Amar just rolling on through with a little help from his friends. 17K net worth lead at 32 minutes in.
Yeah, this is kind of becoming a stomp. There is nothing to deal with this. He is 25 on Timber. There's nothing to deal with the Timber. There was potential earlier, but when he has this sort of item advantage and you don't have some like Timber counter, it just feels impossible.
Nice, nice, nice. The hook connected, but not in time, unfortunately. You're just dragging a dead corpse back in there, Yapsor.
You can Manta it off. Okay, so it says it can't be dispelled, but you can Manta it off. So maybe the tooltip's just bugged.
That would be the first time. But you have OG knocking on your door right now, Secret. Ice, Ice, Ice not up for another 20-something seconds. Another 12 over on Puppy. Amar is just rolling forward. Yet again, chaining for it, I guess I should say. He's not quite a Pango here. Tried to go for the hook over on Taiga. Anisha's just trying to farm up over here on the side. He knows he can't do much without the rest of his team being up and alive. So...
I was literally about to say for Nisha, and he queued it up, that I feel like at this point you need a Daedalus. The way that I see Daedalus as an item is that you get it when, like, it's kind of like the new Rapier, where you are not going to be tanky. You'd, like, rather if you could get a Satanic because you become immortal.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't have a Daedalus, he just straight up does not have enough damage to kill all of OG. So you're just hoping that the fight goes well enough that you can sit there and not need the Satanic. And so the Daedalus will provide you the damage so that you can win the game. And he was queuing up the Satanic before, but he realized, like, okay, this is desperate times.
Taiga hunting another bug, following up Cataclysm.
Taiga has his Aghanim Scepter, too. So if they can, like, anchor any of these team fights around these racks, which obviously is going to happen when you have a Timber that can just sit there and tank in the high ground, this is going to be a really annoying bug. Nyx Ag is one of the most frustrating things to deal with in Dota, I gotta say.
Oh, they get themselves a gem on top of that, too. Was that Taiga's, or... I'm guessing that was someone else's, yes?
That is Misha's gem.
That's Misha's gem. They're just swapping it up. It makes sense when you have Taiga doing a lot of the vision moving about. There's the Daedalus, though. It is completed. Is this going to be enough?
In terms of damage, yes. Definitely. I mean, this is just an incredibly strong item because you can do this. But... the fight needs to go incredibly well with the 4 other heroes, like tanking and frontlining, and the BKB needs to be pressed at the right time on Terrorblade, because otherwise, like, you just die. Your BKB goes down, you die because you have a Daedalus instead of a Satanic. It's like Satanic kind of functions as like a second Daedalus. Like, it's like a second life, like in Aegis.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have that, it's like you need to end the fight in a certain period of time. And yeah, OG is like very capable of taking long fights with Timber, all of the stuff he can spam, and the HP regen that he has, Razor as well.
Yeah, they're quite tanky.
Very
like
tanky.
you said.
You need to blow somebody up. Like a hook is probably a really good hook is how this fight needs to start.
Okay.
If you're Secret.
They're going to need to put up a lot of vision, though, to really secure these hooks, unless you just, know the way
Impossible
that they're going to be
against the
moving.
gem.
Against the gem it is, yes.
Yeah, I think you just hope for the best. Like, that's, I mean, every Pudge player in chat just understands, like, this is what the game comes to at some point. It's like, all right, somehow I have to get them to my tier 4s. And then the question is, like, how do I get them into my fountain with this hook? And he has an Ether Lens on Pudge, so you can pull people in quite the distance with that. That's kind of the best item for, like, high ground defense on Pudge.
Be interesting how they try to approach the next fight. I'm sure they're just trying to buy some more time too, right? Over on the side of Secret.
Yeah, anytime you have a Terrorblade, I think you do want to buy time, but like I said, the question is like how much time really matters.
Get the Ags pick up on Ice. He's going to start off with a little bit of a curse, try to just chip away, take out Taiga immediately. The jump forward, the Cataclysm. Sumail though, falling. Nisha now and needs some help. Does have that BKB online. Niragi popping his own. Go for a bit of a dive. Puppy is just left all the way out here. Oh no! Got the refresher. They'll just chip away. They'll take down Puppy and they'll turn their attention to the buildings. Team Secret down 1 man. Do have buyback.
Yeah, they used Razor, Refresher, and BKB, so I think they're just going to wait that out. They don't have an Aegis, and it is going to respawn
They have
very
new
soon.
neutral items too, so you might as well back off. You have the control, right?
True, yeah, there's a lot of reasons to back off right now, so it's definitely the disciplined play here, which I can't believe I'm using that word when there's a Timbersaw that has an overwhelming blink in a Manta style in his inventory. The word discipline should not enter into my mouth, but it is, because they're actually being very disciplined.
I think it's interesting too. Like it's, you know, we've got some newer players coming out on the side of this new iteration of OG. Usually you'd say that about Secret, right? Secret is very usually disciplined. You know, they know exactly their timings, their movements. So the new kids showing up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm instantly a fan of this team. I love these new ideas. I've literally never heard or seen any of this before. And then also they have the discipline of like an old stack, or at least in this game, that's what it's looking like. Obviously, we can't judge based on just one game, but it's looking that way, which is really cool. It's just great to see.
Definitely, as we'll see how Misha was thinking about it. He knows the Puppy's over there, but rest of the squad backing them up as they go for that D-ward. Niragi continues to farm.
Invoker going for the sheep next. I do feel like they need that disable, that pick off. They're kind of relying entirely on Taiga for that right now, but having a +1 to be able to run around and kill people is definitely a pretty...
I mean, they're just running around killing people, period. Let's be really honest.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good control of this game. 29k net worth lead. You know, they're having difficulty moving Nisha around the map to get the farm. And honestly, though, he's doing a decent job.
Yeah, they're
Don't
kind of
have a lot of control of the area, considering that, you know, OG does have a gem, but Nisha's still fighting farm, still keeping up for the most part here.
Yeah, they're like sacking all farm for him. He's taking every jungle camp, they're protecting him for it. He's taking every single creep wave almost, unless it's like a pain in the ass for him to do it, and Puppy's doing it because he can scooch to the fight. But Nisha's taking all of the safe farm right now. And TB's a hero where, like, that's what you would prefer, you know?
Yeah.
The hero can 1v5.
I mean, it's been a long time since we saw that, though. He was definitely a lot more powerful the last time that happened.
He was. Yeah, he was. TB is not what he used to be.
Taiga getting that vision here. They're just letting Amar solo Roche right now. Like to point that out. Taiga just planting himself over here, using the Yules.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, he did that in the earlier fight as well, when they were trying to break into the base. Path coming in, the follow-up. Amar's on a monster kill streak. They want themselves some more. They want themselves a little bit of ice. But he's already flying away, using that Arctic Burn to get into a more advantageous position.
I'm curious why OG is not just like entirely committing to Roche. There's some idea behind it, because like obviously they can take it, and I think it's quite likely that they would win a fight in Roche. I think they just feel more confident fighting outside of the Roche pit. Like, they don't want the Roche damage to mess up the fight. They'd rather fight around like a high ground ward just like that, which allows him to dodge the hook like that.
That's possible. I mean, some of it could be a little bit of inexperience as well. They get excited, you know. They're doing very well against a team that is heavily favored, I would say.
They've got the Aegis now.
Yeah, they put that back over on Yaragi. We have the Ag Shard being placed on our Timber. That's funny. He didn't have to buy it. He just was like, yeah, I'll get it later.
Dead serious. Like, I 100% think on the last Roche, he was like, I'll just take the Ag Shard on the next one. Like, that's why That's why he didn't buy the Egg Shard, even though it is such a good item on Timber.
Pretty damn impossible to kill. He still had 1 death this entire time.
If Amar's like a huge Timber spammer, then the guy like knows how this hero's late game is. And you're never uncomfortable going late game on Timber unless your teammates are doing like absolutely horribly and you have to solo carry. Like Timber's not exactly going to do that, but you're super comfortable going late game with Timber and your Tricore.
And the assault is on. They want themselves some more buildings. Puppey trying his best to give some sort of information, looking for a hook. Not going to be able to quite land it again. Taiga digging right back in. They'll pop back out for a second. They'll stun up Puppey over there.
With the flamethrower art, OG should be able to high ground fairly easily. I find it interesting that they're backing off, and like to me this looks very similar to the decision that they made earlier to not just like go straight into Roche. It's like, it looks like just a lot of respect for Team Secret and Team Secret's ability to like turn around a game like this. I imagine that if they're playing against another team and it's not Team Secret, this team that is like notorious for like taking almost any opening, that maybe they do go high ground and get a little more ballsy here, but they're honestly kind of giving Team Secret the Team Secret treatment. Like, this is usually what Secret does, is like they could win the game at any point, but they don't. They just keep getting more and more net worth, and they choke you out until you make a mistake.
I mean, any other team, too, would not be able to still be alive at about a 33k net worth lead right now. This is
it's a bit
serious stalling tactics.
It is a bit on OG, though, the fact that they're not going high ground. But like I said, I don't think it's a mistake. I don't think it's inexperience. I really think it's a conscious decision against Team Secret. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that, like I said, if they're against Liquid or some other team, like maybe it's a different play. Maybe they do go high ground. Maybe they've already won the game because they're just confident that they can win a team fight on the high ground.
Oh, finally get that hook in, but again, they get a lot of vision off of that. Jumping forward immediately, just blowing up Ice. Buyback coming out now from the Winter Wyvern. It's going to be a big old cataclysm coming through. Puppey, though, still chasing after Taiga here. Went for a little bit of a hook there. I'm not sure what happened with the Apsor. Puppey immediately having to time lapse away.
Well, once again, OG has baited out the TB Metamorph, so if they chose to back off right now, well, okay, so they're just poking with the Blink Dagger on Razor. But they're gonna like chill for a bit. May as well wait for the meta. Makes sense.
Might as well.
Like, TB is the only hero that's gonna carry this game for Secret, and you can see that through their gameplay, that they've been giving absolutely everything to him. If he doesn't have meta, it's like OG can do whatever they want. And maybe that's what they were poking for this entire time.
Get the Winter's Curse off, and there's a lot of damage coming out from Yoragi, almost being able to take down Taiga right from that. Through here again. Hex over on the side getting used. Taiga just fighting with that illusion.
Damn, he's in.
He is very in. The hook coming back in from his... Oh my goodness, Ice Path connecting. That is a very dead Yapsor. Nisha, he's got the life, but is he going to be able to survive this 4-step forward? It's sundering Sumail. He says, let me back in that base. They do crack that Aegis. The hook coming through, not going to be able to connect. They follow up with some nice moves here coming out from the side of OG. Puppey's trying to poke, trying to find an opening. Amar going very deep. Finding over in the corner, Ice. He is just dead. There's no buyback here for the Winter Wyvern. Cataclysm coming through. They do manage to take down Misha. Those meatballs causing everyone on Secret to run back into the fountain. So buyback now coming out. Yapsor running for his life. Yaragi's doing so much of it. Take down Sumail's going to buy back. Yapsor also to pull Nisha, trying to fight, and he can't do it. He's also going to buy back. They get the kill on Puppey. And Taiga just starts digging in, waiting patiently. He's just tanking these tower shots. Amar throwing his weight around, dropping things on the ground. Hello?
My God.
Yes, he's going to fit in quite well with this OG squad. Oh, hello. There it is, the GG.
Wow.
What a showing coming out from this new iteration of OG.
I'm fairly confident now that the reason OG was waiting for that Roche fight and the reason that they're waiting to go high ground was because they were intentionally trying to poke to force the meta. Like, that's what that seemed like to me. So they just look really strong. Like,